Criminal content. Come on, you can do it. It's alive. Oh, there we go. Cool. Right. Let's get sure everything's good to go. Right on that. Oh no, can't read anything if I do that. There we go. Cool, okay, well, I know there's nobody watching yet, but for anyone who's watching this back, this is like a follow-up for last week's video where we modelled this kind of wonderful-ish gold Dalek. What we didn't do is get round, well, there's a couple of things. Firstly, I managed to bugger up the dome, so I'll just point out what the correction for that was, but I fixed that. And the other one is we didn't get round to modelling, well, I say modelling, rigging the controls of the Dalek so it's animatable. So at the moment, if you want to animate that, you kind of have to manually select all the parts and move them around. But what I might try and do is if I switch to the one of my models that I've got at the moment. So this is the 60s Dalek that I use at the start of my animations. I've got these user control things. This was based on something that a guy called Mick Imrie, who did an original animation tutorial for Daleks. He came up with this arrangement, so I just steal it really. But yeah, we've got a movable dome, posable eyestalk, got lights which kind of flash a little bit, and then we got the arm can be moved around, the gun can be moved around, the arm can be extended for the middle bit and for the inner bit, so if we shove that around there, so you can, I mean I thought about automating it so that bit gets pulled out after that bit's gone in, but I kind of couldn't be bothered. And then finally we got the mechanism for the gun as well, so it can look like it's firing. So something like that. So I'll probably just do exactly the same thing on this gold Dalek, the same sort of idea. Just yeah, basically probably be exactly the same. One other thing I should point out is that this version of Cinema 4D, I've had to actually in the last week. I was on one of these rolling 3-month license things, and my license ran out. And Cinema 4D have changed their licensing model, so they're doing like a monthly license now. So I've had to end up going with version R21, and I've used that a little bit today, and it seems to be a bit buggy. So, and also like always with every version, they've changed where everything is around where everything's located. So I'm going to probably look a bit of an idiot doing that, but never mind. Okay, let's get right into it. So we'll close this one because I don't need that anymore. Actually, will I? I'll keep it open. It might be a useful reference in case I forget how to do anything. Okay, so there's the gold Dalek model. So the first thing I wanted to point out is what I managed to do last week is I managed to somehow, if we look at point mode, I managed to somehow change the, effectively the model was like that, had a hole in the top, but I didn't notice it. If you look back at the video, I accidentally changed the angle of the arc where we were generating the sort of outline for the dome, and I managed to lose the top of it somehow. So the way that I fixed that on this one, actually I could redo it actually. So if we delete it, the way that I fixed it was I went back into edge mode, went U, L for loop select, selected that edge. Ooh, come on, you can do it. Ooh. Oh, there we go. Come on. Right, there we go. Press the D key to do an extrude, did a 0 offset extrude, then I welded it together by going MQ. Oh, no I didn't, let's do it in there. MQ, click. And that kind of closes the hole up. It's a bit flat, but it should be alright anyway. So that's what I did to sort that out. But I could undo it and put it back the way it was. This might have kind of buggered up the UV mapping on it, but never mind. Doesn't matter hugely because we're only using procedural textures anyway. Okay, another thing I wanted to do as well is now I'm using the, I'll do it in a bit, but now I'm using the full studio version, I can now use the cloner tool again, and anyone who's buying a new license now can only get the studio version. So I thought I might have a go a bit later on and just making a new skirt section and showing how I would have done it. Rather than with placing the hemispheres compared to how I actually did it. In fact, we could even try cutting the holes in it, maybe, see how that goes. See how we do for time for the moment. Okay, right, okay, so going back to this other one then. So what I ended up doing with this model was I So effectively we created user data controls for the eyestalk, the dome, the eyestalk, the lights, the gun as an XY position, and the arm, and then an extension for the arm, and also having like a firing mechanism for the gun. So I might just effectively copy that exactly and just show you how I did it really. It's probably the easiest thing. Okay, so gold Dalek. So under this gold Dalek here, we want to go to add user data. Which pops up this little window here. What we're going to do, let's do the dome first. If we call that the dome rotation. Okay, and then what we want to do is we want to set the data type. So it wants to be like a real number to represent any sort of variable value of rotation. And then we kind of also want the unit to be in degrees, because obviously it's going to be in degrees. What I think I made it before was something like minus 360 to 360, so it makes it easier if you want to have like a continual rotation as part of an animation as well. And I think we're going to do, I haven't done this for absolutely years, so I think we want that to be a slider min max. Is that right? Example. No, that's not what we want. How do I do this? Animatable. God, see, this is me forgetting how to do this now. So we want to, God, Jesus Christ, how do I do this? User interface, float slider. There we go. That's what we want. Okay, so if I hit OK, that should pop up. No, it hasn't. Right. Dome rotation. User interface, float slider. There we go. So we want to be able to drag that from left to right. And we also want to be animatable, so it's got this little button there. In fact, what we could do is we could hook it up one thing at a time as we go. So what we want to do is we want to create an espresso node on that gold Dalek object. So that, where are you these days? God, bloody hell, change everything. Cinema tag. No. Oh, where have you split them out to now? Programming maybe? There we go. Espresso. Oh dear. Oh, something else is like buggy as well. It's really slow loading everything on this. Right, so we want so we're going to do the dome. We're going to drop that under there, and then we want to, how do we do this? We want to select the gold Dalek object, and we want to select the user data that we want to access. I believe that's under here somewhere. User data, dome rotation, and we want to connect that to the dome's rotation. Actually, we want. Actually, I can delete that. We don't want rotation. We want rotation H, presumably. So object properties, coordinates, rotation H. Let's see if that works. Connect that to that. And if we click on that, there we go. That's that bit done. Easy enough. Ooh. Okay, so that was the easy bit. We want a similar sort of thing for the eyestalk rotation. Now, rather than being sort of left to right, that's going to be up and down, so I can never remember which one that is. So under the dome, eyestalk, as long as I've set this up so its axis is in the right place, which I should have done. Then we want rotation, yeah, which is B effectively. But this time, we want to create new user data. But we want to call this eyestalk. I don't know, call it up, down, something like that maybe. Again, we want that to be in degrees, and we're going to have to frig these numbers a little bit to make sure that we work out what the lowest point should be, and I think the highest point we could say, I've never actually seen a Dalek go past 90 degrees, so I guess the max is going to be 90 maybe. I might have to tweak these numbers a little bit. Example, yeah, okay. So maybe if we, ooh, something's making a funny noise, what's that? Ooh, okay, let's get rid of that, it's being funny. So maybe we can add that now. So we want the eyestalk, I'm going to drag that under there. And that eyestalk, it's the rotation B that we're looking for. So rotation B, we're going to add in user data, eyestalk up, down. So we select that and click that to there. Now I suspect this is going to let us over rotate. Let's right click on that, user interface, float slider, go away phone. So yeah, this is going to go to 90 and down to 0, but we actually want to go a little bit below 0. So let's edit that user data. So manage user data. Let's try changing a few of these. We want the minimum to be something like, actually I'll tell you what, we could take that connection off. Oh, go away. We take the connection off, and we can manually see how low we can get it, and then that'll be our lowest point. So select the eyestalk, go to rotation tool. We want to make it rotate as far down as it will go without intersecting with the dome. So let's have a look. Let's just hide that for a sec. Okay, I think something like that, maybe a little touch more. Not sure we've got minus 23. Maybe it'll go to minus 24 then. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I think that's about as low as it's going to go. Okay, so we go back to our user data then. Excuse me, manage user data. Eventually. Oh, that's not right. Let's try it there actually. User data, manage user data. So we want our eyestalk up down minimum value to be minus 24. Okay. And then what we want to do is have a look at that espresso node, and we want to reconnect that to there, to the rotation B. Let's try and lay these out, something resembling sensibly. Okay, so we should be able to click on our gold Dalek, and we should be able to go from down to the bottom position all the way up to 90 degrees. There we go. And we can animate that slider effectively. Okay, let's see. These are kind of the easy ones. Right, what else do we need? We need to be able to... Actually, how did I lay that out? Let's try and lay it out the same as the last one, just so it makes some sense. So we've got the lights next. So that, I'm not quite sure how we're going to do that, so we're going to have to do a bit of playing around to see what looks alright. So on that one, I had a slider that went from 0 to 100% for the lights, but I think I only had something like 4 steps between those, just so you can get, oh no, it's, yeah, I've done it with 25% sort of graduations. So I've just it just means that you can kind of animate over a couple of frames it just getting a little bit brighter. That's much more apparent in the new series Daleks than the 60s or 70s ones, but I just kind of wanted to be able to do that. Well, the way that I did that in this model is because these, actually I was trying to keep everything really as simple as possible. I've actually added a luminance map to the kind of egg cup thing, so it gets a little bit brighter. It changes its luminance but doesn't actually emit any light, because I'm trying to keep the, oh look at that, so I've absolutely buggered the width of the pivot up there. Look at that. Need to sort that out by the looks of it. Oh, this must be an old model I'm using actually, because I fixed that before. Anyway, so yeah, so what I was trying to do is keep the complexity down, so that when I try and make animations with this, I'm trying to keep the render time really, really low, so keep it as simple as possible. That might not work, because this is effectively like a fiberglass part that's being illuminated. It doesn't quite map to these, you know, these kind of clear plastic lenses. So I don't actually know what's going to work and look good for that, so we might have to try a couple of ideas out. Either we're going to have to try and put an actual bulb in the middle. Actually, do you know what I haven't done? I've just realised I didn't put a screw inside there, did I? Let's do that. Otherwise it's kind of not quite a finished model there, is it? So actually let's do that before I forget. So close that. If we don't do that, then it will look a bit strange, I think. Or do we want to do that? Maybe just let it slide. No, I'm not going to be able to let it slide, am I? Okay, fine. We're going to have to put a screw under that dome, those dome lights, I think. Let's try and do that. So let's hide the gold Dalek part. So I think I made that. If you make a little, oh god, where is everything these days? Cylinder. So press the S key. Oops, like that. Press the, come on. Press the S key. So I think that's probably going to be like an M3 screw or something like that. So if we make its radius, I don't know, we'll say 3mm over 2, so 1.5mm. So height's going to be what? probably around, I don't know, we could make it 2 centimeters and then just position it in place. Going to give it one height segment, and we probably won't even give it 16 rotational segments. Do I want to say 16 enough? Maybe make it 12. See how that looks. Actually, no, we'll go with 16. Because this is going to kind of be buried inside the lamp, it probably doesn't matter so much. Oh, come on, you can do it. There we go. This doesn't seem to be equally performing on this on my computer to the previous version of Cinema 4D. It's weird. Okay, so we call this dome light screw, something like that. Press the C key to make it editable. Go right. Where is everything? Mesh. Oh God, we've changed the menus. Where are you? Commands I want. Tools. Nope. Where's optimize now? Where do you move stuff? Oh dear. Modes, nope. Mesh. Normals, nope. Sculpt, move, clone, add, nope. What else? What else have been? Oh, where's make editable? Don't want spline. Volume? No, not make editable. Optimize. Oh dear, I'm going to have to say, excuse me, I'm going to have to be a pain in the arse and Google this because they've changed everything. Why do they do shit like that? Honestly. Oh, make editable cinema. Sorry, not make editable. Optimize. Cinema 4D R21. See if that comes up with anything. Optimize motion. No, this is probably the worst way of doing it. Let's see if did I download the help files? Show help. Online help. Oh dear me. So this is a pain in the arse. As soon as I change the version, I can't remember how to do anything. Optimize. Yeah. Where do you find it then? It's on the mesh menu, apparently. Right. Mesh. I'm not seeing it. UV, no. Normals, no. Engons, no. Add. Subdivide, no. Remove. Optimize, there we go. Oh dear, this is going to be hard work for everything, isn't it? Okay, there we go. So. Oh dear me, it's going to be hard work. Everything's going to be hard work when you use a new version. Oh, go away. Right, okay, so what I'm trying to do is just eyeball a dome of a screw. So, one knife tool, loop cut, something like there. I'm going to select the polygon ring out there. I'm going to press the D key to do an extrude, and I'm going to pull it out at some distance. I think it needs to be about 6.5 to 7 millimeters. So I might have to tweak this to actually fit inside the actual hole we cut out. Excuse me. So U loop select for the edge. I'm going to select that and just pull it down. Is that what I want? Do you know what? It doesn't really have to be very high polygon, does it? So we could just make it really simple like this. What I might do is just put a little bevel on that edge. So U, L, loop select, M, S for a bevel tool. Subdivisions right down. In fact, I won't even have any, so some do that because it never works properly first time. We'll go with that. Let's see, I might just chuck an aluminium material over that. Boom, done. Kind of similar. Actually, we want that. Maybe we could clone that and make a steel screw or something like that. So we make that. We'll call that steel screw. Because aluminium is quite a bright colour, and I want to make it darker and also with lower level of light, so let's get that right down. Keep that, we'll knock that down to maybe 100. Okay, that'll do. I'll try and keep it real simple. So we'll replace that material with that one. Hide that, let's just render that, see if that actually looks okay. Not really, but solid, we don't care. Let's have a look. Actually, maybe we can. Oh I'm going to have to blend that edge in. U, loop select, and S. Just drag that out a little bit so it's a bit more clear. There we go. See how that renders. Do you know what? Don't even care. It doesn't even matter, does it? Okay, right, so what I'm going to do is chuck that part underneath the dome lights and then move it into position. So let's turn the, actually we could just turn the dome lights back on, couldn't we? So if I drag that under there, and we'll zero all the positions out. Press the S key to zoom in, and let's see where we are. Right, okay, not too far away. So I'm going to drag that into position there, so that does look like that screws a little bit too big, the head. Mind you, it's not too far out actually. I think we could probably get away with that. It's also kind of in the right place, isn't it? Which is alright. So I might just, what's that position? That's 20. Okay, so I might just copy that and move that Z position to the inverse. That should be in the same sort of place. There we go. So actually you can't really see the screws because they're quite a lot of the way down. God, leave me alone, people. Oh, apparently somebody's smashing glasses outside my house. Lovely. Right, okay, let's copy those under the other dome light and move those into position. So drag that one under there. Zero the positions out. Let's just select that dome light, S. Oh, that window, S. Select the dome light screw, zero that out. 0, 0, 0. And then we'll give it the same Z position under that dome. So, and then we'll copy that. Give that the inverse, and they should both be in position. There we go. Okay, so we've got kind of some dome screws under the dome lights. Yeah, that was an interesting diversion for nothing really, but never mind. Just gives a little bit extra, doesn't it? Just a little bit. It's like I mean, there's a lot of ways I've been lazy on this, but at least that isn't one of them now. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to save that. So so this is a good point. Yeah. The previous version of Cinema 4D I was using was release R20, as it's popped up on this message. And like I said at the start of the stream, if you didn't catch it, I've had to upgrade to the newest version. A, because the time on my free monthly license expired, but also I kind of need. I've got another project. It means I need the extra features from the studio version, so I just went ahead and upgraded to release R21. But what it does mean is if anyone's opened the previous project in R20, you won't be able to open these new ones. So when I save this in Project Dalek on their forum, I'll save it as a different item, just to make sure that you can tell that they're different. Okay, but in my repository I'm just going to put it over the top. So I'm going to say yes to save it. I'm going to go back to the folder. So from last week I had a GitHub repository I was updating to keep like the version control list, just because I'm a software engineer, so what I'm used to using. So I'm going to update the version that's on the remote repository. So I'm going to do, what should we do? We're doing git bash. So it should be, so we're inside the repository. This is cloned onto my GitHub account. So I should be able to do git status and see that there's only one file change, which there is, the gold Dalek one. So I'm going to do git add dot to add all items from this folder onwards. Then I'm going to do git commit -m. I'm going to say dome and eyestalk rigged and screws added to dome lights. And then I'm going to push that to the remote repository. Oh, actually, I should have added it as release R21 now, but never mind. Sod it. Oh. Git push. That's a good point. Did I put something in that readme.md file? Oh, I don't want to do that bollocks. No, sod off. Right, what I'm actually going to do is change that onto R21 now and save it. So let's close that. take that sort of. Right, okay, let's go back to git bash. I'm going to actually do git status again. So I should have shown I've updated the readme file, so I'm going to do git add dot, and do git commit dash m readme updated because I have had to move on from Cinema 4D R20 to R21. Git push. Okay, right, get rid of that. Get rid of that, right. Let's try and figure out what the bloody hell I'm going to do with these lights then. So I'm not entirely sure I know what the answer to that is. Well, one thing I want to do is actually I'm not quite happy about this eyestalk iris as well. I think the dimensions for maybe the middle bit is too small. Something doesn't quite look right to me. I think the colour's right. I can't quite work out why I'm not happy about what this eyeball looks like. It's like the eyeball's too big and maybe the inner ball's too small. I'm not really sure. So I might play around with that in a bit. Or something on the to-do list. Oh, Jesus Christ. Everyone go away. I'll turn my phone off actually, this is getting ridiculous. Sorry, bear with me a sec. I can't turn it off without turning it on. Of course, that makes sense. Turn off. You. Okay, right, what are we going to do? So we've got, I'll tell you what, if we do what I suggested, maybe it would be useful to have the slider to animate the dome lights, just because you can have, it's like an option then if you want to have the gradual brightening, or if you want to actually just switch it high to low, it's fine, because you can do that. So I'm going to go back to the gold Dalek object. I'm going to add some user data, and we're going to make this new data dome lights, and I'm going to make that from 0 to 100%, but I might make this do what I do on my one and make the step 25%. Slide them in, slide max. Actually, they're just going to be the same anyway, so we'll keep that off. So if we go example, we want that to go, yeah, there we go. So it's jumping in steps at 25%. Okay. We'll actually make sure it shows the slider. So user interface, float slider. There we go. Okay, right. So now what I need to do is try and figure out what's going to be the best look for how we can get this dome light to flash without having to kind of try and keep as simple as possible the actual operation that Cinema 4D is doing, to try and keep its render time right down. It's really what I want to try and do. I want to keep, yeah, I want to make, don't want to cripple everyone's computer just for the sake of flashing a light, which is quite easy to do. I mean, that's why I didn't put all the sort of the refractive indices on these dome lights, because it's amazing how much these things can cripple your machine. So I've got a couple of things I was thinking about. I thought maybe I could just take the internal shape of the dome light and just add some luminance to it. We could see how that looks. It might look like crap, I don't know really, but we could try that. So what we'd have to do, if we turn the Dalek off, but well, we've still got the dome lights on actually, haven't we? So let's select one of them, say this one, and so I've obviously got this internal shape. So when you look at the lights, actually I wonder if we've got any decent pictures of the lights on. I don't think we do. Could look at the reference photos. I should have got my DVD out of storage really. That would have been a sensible thing to do. So reference pictures. That's the wrong one. Let's try this one. Original gold Dalek. Don't know if you've got any pictures of the lights flashing. Probably not. Let's have a look. No, I can't really see anything. I'm pretty sure when the lights flash, if we look at this one, it's the inner shape that kind of catches the light, and you see that. So we could have a go at that. Maybe we could select this inner pattern. So we've got dome light, we've got a Y pack. What selections have we got then? We've got non-ridged, polygon selection, cylinder. Okay, so it's created a couple of load of crappy ones. Ah, that's probably because they're part of this new bit that we cut out. Yeah, okay, so we could add that selection to what we got here. We've got polygon selection 0. Oh, it's created a load of crap since we've merged that together. So ridged texture, that's that bit. Non-ridged is this bit, and then we have that bit's the bit with the dots, isn't it? So I've not given that a sensible name, have I? Let's call that dotted texture or something, maybe. Call that dotted texture. And then we'll go into here and rename that to dotted texture. Okay. So let's actually view that in object mode. Okay, right. So what I want to do is I want to select that. No, hang on. I'm trying to remember how to do this now. What am I doing? So that's the external bit and the internal. We want to separate the internal from the external, so that's non-ridged. So let's what have we got on there? Is that actually applied to anything? Cylinder B0. That's that one, isn't it? That's an edge selection. I've got an edge selection. Let's delete that. Polygon selection 0. So let's off that. That's everything. We can get rid of that, I think. Delete. Non-ridged, dotted texture, ridged texture, cylinder B0. So I deleted that. Actually, no, that's what we want. We could call that the holes or something like that. Screw holes. And that's. Oh, what am I doing? Deleted a texture here. Undo. There we go. Right, we'll call that one screw holes. Rename that to screw holes. Quite useful to have those separate. Right. Okay. So I think what I want to do is I want to select this inner section. So if I select all of this one, want dotted texture, non-ridged. Okay, ridged texture. There we go. So I'll select that. I want to deselect this inner section and make that illuminated, I think. Let's see if we can do that. Go to there and go. I might just go kind of something like this, maybe, see what we get. It's very difficult to see stuff when it's translucent. Do U select or unselect from each ridge effectively. Actually, what I should have done was I should have selected that one. No, actually I should control click each loop as I go. Maybe I should. Maybe that'll do. So I might do select set selection. So that should turn off the inside bit, which it has done. And then we can add a selection to that bit and make that bit the bit that gets illuminated. We'll see how that looks. That might actually, if we just try adding a luminance map to that, that might be enough. Okay, so now what I want to do is make that its own new selection. So select there. Actually, how do I do grow selection? I can't remember how to do that. Select grow selection somewhere. I've done this for yonks. Grow selection UI. So UY, 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 we're getting there, one more, UY. Right, we can make that select. Set selection, we'll call that loom inside luminance or something like that. Luminance. There we go. Okay, right, so what we're going to do is we're going to, so what was that? That was the original ridged texture, non-ridged, is this material, dome-like lenses. So if we just copy that, we could call that dome-like lenses with dome-like lens inside, something like that. Then we can have a go at adding some luminance to it and see how that looks. So let's get our selection, drop that on there. See how that looks. Maybe we should render the Dalek actually, see how that looks. Because it might be, we might just be able to add a bit of that, and that might just be good enough to kind of give the impression of an illuminated light. Not sure, it overlaps itself. It doesn't actually look that great, does it? Maybe we need to knock its opacity right down. So if we change its transparency down, so maybe it made its opacity 50% and its luminance 80%. See how that looks. A lot of this is kind of just experimenting to see what you can accept. Yeah. Well, it kind of still looks like ass, doesn't it? Yeah, I don't think that's going to work, is it? It's looking a bit shit. Maybe we're going to have to put light under there. Just see how that looks. It's like playing around with this sort of stuff. Because I mean, that kind of looks alright, but I don't really like it. If we zoomed right out and saw what that looked like here, for example, it's I always find it weird when the eye stalks up. It always looks better down, I think. Let's see how that looks. Oh, come on. Computer's too slow. Excuse me. I hope the audio's alright, by the way. Jesus Christ, my computer. I need a new computer. This is so so slow. I thought it's bad enough when you're just doing it for yourself, but when you're trying to live stream rendering stuff as well and doing the live stream, it's killing it. Killing it. Oh, Jesus. You can do it. You can get there. It'd be good if you actually rendered the dome light quite soon. You know, let's not keep us too much in suspense. Otherwise, it's looking all right in this model. I'm fairly happy with it. There's just a few little things that need tweaking, I think. Yeah, that just looks weird. Doesn't look right at all, does it? But maybe we need to. Maybe we just need to add. Maybe we need to. Maybe if we had some luminance on the outer shell of the dome light as well, maybe that would be alright. So maybe if I did, so it kind of doesn't look too bad. Well, it does, but we'll pretend it doesn't. So let's knock that down. Maybe that was like 70%. And we made it so opacity or transparency 60%. But then maybe if we took the actual dome light outside itself and we made that have some luminance, but maybe only a really low amount, like 25%. Actually, we'll do that for both of those materials. So we enable luminance, select that channel, give it 25%. Let's see how that looks, because that'll be the whole thing illuminating then. Let's render a region. Just, there we go. It's a shame it's the dome, the neck mesh that seems to kill my computer really. Don't know. What I think we should do is we should find a video on YouTube of a dome light flashing and see how it actually looks. Maybe that's what we want to do. Let's try that. I think I had a... might help. Let's try this. Let's go YouTube. YouTube's always a source for everything. And let's search for Day of the Daleks. Try and find an actual clip which maybe we can just freeze frame on. Oh, that's the special edition thing. I don't really want that. Oh, the real deal. None of these are from Day of the Daleks. That one is. It's got new voices. No, it's the real deal. Where's the where's Doctor Who's channel? Oh, that's one that's starting out with a dome light, so maybe that's a good reference. But I'm going to, maybe I should mute this because I don't want to get in trouble. So desktop audio. I'm going to mute the desktop audio. Excuse me. And we're going to play this. I'm going to pause it immediately. And let's see if we can find a good example of a screenshot. So oh, this picture quality's terrible. Come on, you can say something. Okay, so looking at that, let's compare that to what we got there. It's not the greatest image at all, is it? I think that dot's bigger on this Dalek than it is on my one. It's not far off, but I think the light, the luminance is all around the outside, isn't it? Rather than on the inside. Oh, shut up. Mute. What's interesting is that also all the light seems to be on the top edge. Try that again. Let's set the speed right down. So we're right to have the slider because it doesn't fully illuminate instantly, but also really doesn't kind of do the bottom half, which is a bit strange. I don't know if that's just because the angle of incidence that we're at. I think we want, but that looks like that just basically covers the whole outer surface. I think the luminance wants to be on the outer surface. I also notice it doesn't really illuminate, doesn't really add any light to the dome. So the difference between there and having a non-illuminated dome, there's no light kind. It's not really providing a light source. It's literally just lighting itself up. So I think we're on the right track using luminance. It's just trying to get the right effect. So that's what we're after, isn't it? I think what I've got here isn't working, so let's try and frame that similarly, actually. So we've got, okay, it's going to be kind of back to front because I've only got one light working at the moment, but it's not dissimilar to that, is it? So if we do a render region, that region there, So I think the primary amount of luminance wants to be on the outside of the dome light rather than the inside. But you can kind of see maybe the odd edge of a line around there. So I think if we increase the illuminance on the outside, but also keep that there as well, maybe that will kind of be alright. Don't know. I kind of don't want to spend too much time on it really as well, because if anyone wants to use this, they're more than free to do whatever the hell they want with this model. So let's select that. Right click those. No, that's not what we want to do. Select those, set that and that. And I'm going to bump the luminance right up to maybe 70%. Let's see how that looks. Into region. Oh, hello. A lot of the effect is the bloom because it's a true. Yeah, that's very true. That is very true. So yeah. So I almost want to knock the transparency right down. So maybe if I knock the transparency. Basically, what I'm trying to do is find the position for these settings that I want them to be 100% brightness. So maybe if I've not got all three of those. So select all three. Transparency. Make that 55, 60, or whatever it was. Okay, let's try rendering region for this to see how that looks. If it looks vaguely like what we're after, then we might be able to let it slide. Nah, I don't like it. I don't like it. It's just gone white, isn't it? It's not gonna work. Let's try and knock the transparency back up again a bit. It's losing the glassy effect. Maybe that's as good as we're going to get on a really short time frame. I don't know if that's any good, really. I'm not sure. You do see the point source of the bulb as it fades out, yeah? Oh, hello, by the way. I see. That's true, actually. That is true. Yeah, let's try and play that on so it fades out. So yeah, you're right. So let's play that on a little bit. Oh, I missed it again. Come on. Yeah, so there's the light bulb position there. So what are we going to try and do? Maybe we're barking up the wrong tree with this luminance stuff. Maybe we want to have a go at trying to actually put a bulb in there and see how that comes out. Might be the best way to go. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We've got these as an option, so I'm going to select all of those. I'm going to turn the luminance back off, but I'll leave it with the same settings, and we'll put the transparency back at, I think it was 90%? Oh my god, I can't even remember what it was. That's not good. We'll stick with 90% for the moment. It might have even been lower than that, actually. It might have been 80%. 85, I think that was what it was. We'll go with that. We'll get this one, we'll knock this back to 85 as well. And we'll turn the luminance off. And let's have a go at, let's just check that looks kind of like how we had it before. Yeah, so I'm not really happy with these dome lights anyway. It's part of the problem. That bit there. Transparency. Oh, we need to mix that because that should be 85, I think. I know why. Let's make that 85%. Let's make that lower actually. And let's knock that mix strength down a bit. Don't want it to be fully transparent. There we go, let's try rendering that. it's still a little bit more transparent than it needs to be. Can't come on, Simon, sort this stuff out. So right down there. Render that again. If you have the lens that's slightly less than 100% transparent with a light source inside, it should pick up and illuminate if it's on their own accord. Yeah, it does. I was just trying to see if I could get away without doing that too much, because it's one of those things that if you I'm trying to keep the render time as low as possible, but I think that is what we're going to have to do. I was trying to see if I could fake it and get away with it by using luminescence, but I don't think that's going to work. That's still too transparent. Oh, bloody hell, Simon, come on, let's get that right down to 0, solid. Mix strength. Oh, I know why, it's because that's white. Oh, we need to invert that, don't we? No, that should be right. Let's try that, actually. Render region. Come on, so I'd give up at this otherwise. Yeah, that band's not so obvious now, so I don't think it cares. Okay, let's try chucking a light source underneath it then. I think that's going to be the best thing to do. Is it this dome light, isn't it? So we're going to go with... Oh, that's a good point. What should I use? Don't want an IES light, actually. I want to keep it simple. Let's just go for normal light. So drop that under the dome light object, or object mode, or 0 all the coordinates and dimension rotations out. Okay, so where exactly are you? You're on the dome itself. So we want to move that, yeah, we want to move that where, as Marine Dalek pointed out, the light source is kind of about there, isn't it? I think. I don't want to do that. Does glow work? Just apply to the inner surface, maybe. Can't remember if glow handles occlusion in cinema 4D. Oh, I don't know. I've never tried glow. I don't like. There's something funny about glow. It never quite seems to work properly for me. Whenever I try using it, it seems like certain bits of it get clipped off or something like that. So I never seem to be able to quite get it to look the way I want it to look. So we could try that in a minute, actually. Let's just see how we get on with this. Let's go for a shadow. Let's say none. But we just want to visible light. We'll make that inverse volumetric. God. Let's try to scale it, size that down. So we want visibility. Outer radius tiny. Let's make that 50. Might be a bit too small. 70. Oh yeah, we want them to change its position, don't we? So try and line it up somewhere like there, isn't it? I think about that. Lights. Right, I'm going to make it project. I only want to include the dome light itself, that Y pack, because I want it to illuminate the entire scene, really, unless I have to. Let's see how that works. Start out with actually, do I want shadows? Probably don't, actually, because otherwise it won't be illuminating anything. So render region, let's render that. I think glow's a post-process effect, yeah. I think we're still going to need some luminance on it, aren't we? Let's see what we got. Light, visibility. Let's give it an inner distance. Like that, actually. And I think its brightness is really high, wasn't it? So we want that about 30 maybe. Shadow none. Inverse volumetric. Do want it visible. Try that again. Under region. I have to remember how to do this. Half this stuff I forget how to do. No, not really seeing it, are we? Show visible light, separate paths, visible light, shadow, type omni. Ends note, core 6, service core 6, volume core 6, don't really need any of that. Use fall off, 100%, in a distance, sample distance. Fall off, inverse square, physically accurate. Radius decay, K, that's 70, didn't we? I haven't done this stuff for yonks, I forget half of it. No, that's not really working. So it needs to be as bright as possible. Yes, I suppose so. If it's only illuminating that object. I don't think that's actually providing us any value there, is it? General. Ah, that's a bit better. The can the brightness go above 100%? Yeah, so this could make it 400. Try that. I'm glad somebody who knows what they're doing is on the stream. Ah, that's a bit better. Now that's actually catching the luminescence, isn't it? Okay, now what we want to do is maybe keep the volumetric size inside the dome light. So maybe reduce that a bit. Oh yeah, I forgot we've got two different fall-offs on there. Get that down a bit. Let's see how that renders. Kind of just saturating it white. Ah, that's interesting. It's now illuminating the inside of the dome light, which you wouldn't really be able to see. So I think what we're going to have to do, I think that light's kind of about right, isn't it? Maybe a little bit lower, maybe 300. But I think we're going to have to play with the luminescence and the transparency anyway. Because it's effectively illuminating this part of the portion of the dome. So, yeah, maybe we need to change the transparency of this bottom ring to be right down to lower or something. See how that works. If we make that transparency down to 60 maybe. Try that. If you're setting the range, you could have it illuminate the dome too. Get rid of that odd dark area under the lens probably. Could do. Or we could actually close off the bottom surface of the dome lens itself maybe. Yeah, that's not really working. Maybe that's an option. Maybe we should actually close out the bottom surface of the dome lens so it doesn't show through. I don't know, how can we do that? Let's hide the Dalek for the moment. I'm trying to model this the way I want it to be, but maybe that's not going to work. Actually, maybe we could do something really crap and just make the... We could make that portion of the... like effectively put like a white disc in there or something underneath. That would just catch the light. So we do disc, make that a child of the wide pack. Maybe give this a go. 000. Change its radius to be, what was it, 35, something like that. Ooh. And yeah, I guess it's got a similar material to the wide pack. Actually, we suppose we want like a sort of just a flat matte colour, something like that maybe. Tune its colour right down. Just going to get illuminated. Try that maybe. That might be enough. Actually, what we do is make that editable. We give that, yeah, make that editable. C key. Go to point mode. Actually, go to object mode. Move it right down. And then because it's going over a curved surface, I'll just shove this point back up in the middle somewhere. Let's try that. Render region. There we go. Yeah, okay. Maybe. Let me load up my rip of the episode. I get rid of the dark area. I could have it. I don't know. I think that kind of looks alright, doesn't it? I think that's got a bit of a glow around it. Catches the light. It's not hugely far off of that. We've still got this little region around there with the ridges. Maybe that's okay. I don't know. Answers on a postcard. What do you reckon? I think I might leave it at that for the moment. See how it kind of looks alright, even though it's a bit crappy. If you know what I mean. Yeah, let's close that. I think that's okay actually. Zoom back out, put the Dalek back on, try it in a bit of context. It's always good to see things with the actual dome in place. So render region, let's render that whole bit. Another shot with a bulb is way more obvious. Okay. Maybe need to put some actual geometry for the bulb inside then. Was that rendering? No, stop rendering. Render region. Ah! It's dying. Save. Save before everything dies. Okay, let's try it again. Render region. Oh dear. It's killing my computer, this. Episode 2, after the Doctor and Joe have tied up conversations about the fanatics in the cellar. Oh, is that when the Dalek's talking to the controller with the older time vortex magnetron jobby, or is it later on than that? Might be a bit later than that. Come on, Mr. Computer, you can render this mesh. You can do it. Oh, entertainment. Yeah, so this is the reason why I tried seeing if I could short circuit the actually having to put the lights in there, because I'm just trying to, the amount of things there already are on this model that can cripple your computer especially if you've got one that's 8 years old like mine is as well. So yeah, the scene with the magnetron. Okay, well, I wonder if we can find that. Because I've left my DVD at home, in my storage room again, of course. Let's see if there's any clip for that. Day of the Daleks, magnetron. I'm going to get videos of people taking microwave ovens apart now. Exclusive first look, trikes. Oh, never mind, I don't think it's going to happen. What's that? Somebody's colorized it. What? Oh my god. Somebody's colorized the props to be 60s colors. Wow. I'll have to have a look at that in a bit. Alright, okay, I'm gonna first, this shot's pretty much an exact angle you're rendering now. Okay, I might revisit that in a bit. I think I'm gonna, because we're on a time limit, I think I might knock it on the head because I've got to go and try and dig out my DVD. So I think what I'll do is, just for the moment, I'll leave this as it is. Okay, so what I might do actually is, rather than having two dome-like objects, I might just mirror this object. So I'm going to see where's the symmetry tool. Oh, look, there's loads of new stuff. Hooray. No, this one. Oh, Jesus Christ, where'd you put stuff? Where's the symmetry tool? Why'd you move everything? It's not there. Subdivision surfaces, extrude, vectorizer, loft, sweep. What? No, it's not going to be in those. Oh, come on. Oh, back to the help. Show help. Jesus. Why do they do this to me? Symmetry tool. Actually, it's a symmetry. So we've got that's hair. We don't really want hair, do we? Let's try a different symmetry, shall we? Symmetry. Symmetry object. There we go. Where are you? Basic coordinate object. So what, under here? No. Basic coordinate object. Generators. Subdivision surfaces. Oh, they're not under here, are they? Oh, they moved it. Okay, fine. Where is that? Trying to learn a new version of. I've been trying to learn the new version of Blender for the past week. Oh, some daily motion, albeit backwards. Okay. Taking me several hours to model the Perspex gun from the Dalek. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Trying to get Perspex, the right effect for that, is horrendous. Plus, if you're not used to the way things are laid out. I mean, I've been using Cinema 4D for like 10 years, and I still forget how to do everything. And then when they change it around, no chance. There we go. Right, so I'm going to make that a child of the dome object. Zero that out in object mode. 0. Okay. And I'm going to take this dome light, I'm going to shove that underneath the symmetry object, hide the other dome light, and we're going to mirror it in the YX plane. There we go. So with a bit of luck, if I render that now, both sides will be illuminated. No, what am I talking about? Because, I wonder if that's because this light object isn't sorry, wonder if it's light. Yeah, let's try deleting that, and then maybe shoving the symmetry object under there, see if that works. Render region, because I've restricted what that light affects. Is that going to work? Please work. No. Oh, it's worked on that one. Not useful. Oh, sod. Okay. Okay, we're going to have to copy that, aren't we? Let's delete that. Jesus. Copy that. Actually. If I make that a child of that, I want that to be. Oh, no. Oh, Jesus Christ, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Let's drag a copy of that out. Hide that one, and then make that editable. C key, so we should have two copies of it. Dome light, one there, one there. Okay, but we only have one light object. Well, that's weird. Why has that only cloned that bit then? Okay, what the hell's going on? I don't know what's happening here. I'm losing the plot. Is the symmetry axis right? It should be, because when I had that symmetry object on, if I hide that, oh, I made it editable. Z, 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 let's go back to where we were, get that symmetry object back on, hide. I'm still seeing something here, oh, it's because that's back on. Right. What am I seeing here? That one. There we go. Right, hide that. Symmetry object, turn it on so it's mirroring in the right axis. Okay, I want to make that editable. C key. We should end up with two lots of the dome light, but funnily enough, it's not cloned the light object. How weird. It's cloned that one. Right, screw Y pack. So it's cloned the. It can't clone the light object. That's interesting. It's not copying onto itself or something daft. Yeah, something weird going on like that. So I think it's because it's not been able to clone this light. So I think we're going to have to do it the hard way, of course. So I'm going to have to copy the actual objects. So dome light, let's make sure, let's see what the rotation for that is. So I'm going to drag that out. Let's group that object, so we've got the center under the dome. Shove that there, delete. I'm going to rotate that through until it's on the other side. So drag a copy of that out. Oop. Delete that. I'll just rotate this through 180 degrees. There we go. So maybe that'll work, who knows. Let's see if that renders. Render region. There we go. Lights don't work with symmetry. Post from 2008 is still, presumably still applies. Probably. Oh, no, we don't have the light objects. Right, hang on a minute. So now they're actually pointing at the right object. No, because they're not including anything. So let's try that again. That one is supposed to include that. Nope, that's not right. Sorry. That one is supposed to include that object. And then that light is supposed to include that object. Let's try that again. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. You can do it. Oh, right. That's only taken me like an hour. Oh, Jesus Christ. How long have we been streaming? This has been, it took me 10 minutes to do the dome, and this bit's been like in the last 50 minutes or something crazy. Oh, dearie me. Right, I'm gonna leave it at that, and we're gonna rig that bit up, because I think if I try and do anything else, I'm gonna ruin everything. So I'm gonna save that, ditch this symmetry object, drag that dome light out, delete that. Sometimes you got to cut your losses and say this is as good as I'm gonna get. Okay, so what do? We changed the. If we open those in the editor, I think we changed the transparency level. Oh, that's actually not true. So that's 85, that's 0. Oh, that doesn't help matters, does it? We change the transparency of dome light ridges to 60. Well, actually, I think maybe that's about right, probably. Let's tell you what, let's turn the lights off and then see how it looks without those. So we turn those back off. I mean, that might actually render okay. So we want to turn all the luminance channels off. So that one was the luminance. In fact, that's already off. So maybe that's actually what we want anyway. 60% kind of looks alright. Right, we're going to stick with that. No, we're not. No, we're not. I'm going to change it down. I'm going to change it back up. Can't ever make my mind up. Render region. It's an iterative process. Stream seems to be cutting off the right hand side of the screen. Oh, does it really? Oh shit. Oh yeah, it is, isn't it? Why is that? Let's have a look. I didn't have that like that before. Cancel. Oh, apologies to anyone who's watching. Yeah, it does seem. Oh, I know why that is. I know why that is. It's because I've changed it back to being a 1080p screen. Let's get rid of that. Change this back. Oh dear me, what an amateur. Let's tune in again next week. It gets even better. Let's try this again, shall we? We've got two screens. Number 1. Let's do identify. That's number 2. Right. Sorry, I changed this back. But it wants. I was trying to get it at a stream resolution that's reasonable. So we tried 1280 by 720. Let's try that. Keep changes, close that, maximize. Right, there we go. Hopefully you can see everything now. Sorry about that. Oh dear. Well, this has been a resounding success today. Oh, right, okay, I think we've got what we want on the dome light front. I'm going to render that region. Okay, right, I'm going to leave it at that, and all I'm going to do is enable the lights, and we'll see if we can keep it as simple as that, and we'll rig that. If that works, that'll do, and we can move on to trying to bugger something else up. There we go. Right, we're going to leave it at that, I think. Okay. Right, so going back to our, right, I think we're going to leave that. So I'm going to save that, and we're going to change our settings now. So we're going to effectively just modify the intensity of the light objects. So go back to the old Dalek. No, it's black now. What the hell? It is, isn't it? Oh, come on, life. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop the stream and start it back up again, see whether it works. Sorry. Let's save that. Sorry about this, people. I'm terrible at this. Let's do... Come on, you can do it. Okay, right, sorry about all that. Hopefully we're back. I'm not having a good day today. Don't seem to be doing a very good job. Oh dear. Right. This is going to make for great viewing. Hopefully everyone can see that, if there's anyone watching. Hooray, there we go. Right, so I'm very sorry about that. I've completely buggered everything up there. I forgot to set it back to the lower resolution. Tried doing it on the stream, and it's obviously killed Streamlabs. So hopefully we're okay now. Let's just try it. Right, so kind of conclude where we got to then. I think I've kind of tweaked the settings for the materials for the dome lights, and I think that the light objects are rendering okay. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to rig the model so that we change the intensity of the light object from, God blimey, there's no room for anything on this. I'm going to change the intensity of that light object from being 300 down to 0 for the 0 to 100% of the lights illuminated, and I think that's going to have to do. So we've got a dome light slider which is 0 to 100%. What we're going to do is go back to our Espresso node. Very difficult to fit everything in when you're running on a 720p screen. Okay, let's go user data, dome lights. Drag that down, and what we want is the two light objects from the dome lights, that one and that one. Drag those onto there. And we're going to scale the intensity from 0 to 100 to 0 to 300. So we go for what we want. General, not having inclusion. Actually, what do we want? Let's try this again. We want, in a general tab, intensity. There we go. General, intensity. General, intensity. And we're going to create a scaling node. So, adapter. General, what do we want? Calculate, formula. I don't know, I haven't done this for a while actually. Formula. Actually, we just want an adapter, I think. Actually. What we got? We got bitmap, sound, memory, link list. That's not what we want. I think we do want an adapter. So we want. No, we don't want that. Calculate formula. Absolute. Oh Jesus, that's what we want. Range mapper. There we go. Wake up, Simon. Right. So we want to map an input range. Oh, try to connect our dome lights to the input. So. We want to map our input range from 0 to 100%, our output range from 0 to 300%. So we make our data type real, input range is going to be in percent, output range is going to be in percent. So we want 0 to 100 maps to 0 to 300. Let's try that. And then we hopefully can connect that to the intensity outputs. There we go. Right, so hopefully we can select our dome object, our gold Dalek object, and there we go. We can go from 0%, render region, there we go, got our dome lights off, and then if we go to 100%, render region, this should hopefully render full brightness. There we go. Oh, dearie me, nearly ruined everything there. So, right, I'm going to close all that up and I'm going to save everything because I'm liable to ruin it again. So, save that. Go to our Git repository. We're going to do git status, should just show the one file changed. Git add all items. Git commit message. We're going to say added controls for the dome lights eventually. And then I'm going to push that to the remote server. Git push. There we go. God. Maybe I should have practiced this before I actually went live. I just thought I'd do it, but I forget how to do half this stuff. It's terrible. I haven't done this for a while. I'm supposed to be doing a big animation in the next few weeks, so it's not going to go very well. Right, okay, so at the moment we've got controls for rotating the dome, we've got the eyestalk up and down, we've got the intensity of the dome lights, which we can do, show there. So pretty much the last things we've got is the rotation of the gun and arm, we've got the extension of the arm, and we have the firing mechanism for the gun as well. I'm trying to animate having it splaying open as we fire. Okay, so let's go for the arm first maybe. So the arm, the way I did that before, which again is based on what I used from Mick Imrie's animation, oh here we go, was I used an XY coordinate plane for this. Now in the version that I used to map this, you kind of end up with this dead space in the corner where you can have the because this is obviously a square but the hole is a circle, you can end up overlapping here in the top corner, so that's effectively intersecting the edge of the gun box there. But it's a bit of a compromise. If you're trying to use a square control, either you make it so that the top right corner is there, which means that you can only use this inner section, you can't go fully up or down, or the alternative is you try and constrain how you use it to make sure you don't intersect. So there's a bit of an element of risk there. Same with a gun actually. I can intersect the, well in fact right up there it's intersecting in the mesh. So what I might do, mind you this is a new version of Cinema 4D, you never know, you might have a circular shape for it. But I think what I'm going to do is I'll do what I've done here, where I'll leave it up to the animator to decide, to make sure they don't overlap, rather than the control to do it, because effectively you're cutting off the usable area for that. Okay, so let's go back to the gold Dalek. So to do that, we created a new user control with an XY plane on it effectively. So on user data, add user data. So we call this, I guess this will be the arm rotation maybe. Okay, and this is what, oh, I'm trying to remember what this is now. Oh dear, what is this? This is like an, not a float, data type. It's going to be vector maybe? 2D vector field, I think that's what we want. Yeah, there we go. And the unit's going to be degrees. And then we want to figure out what's going to be the top and bottom positions for those, and the left and right positions for the minimum and maximum values. So we do view the example, there we go. That's how, kind of how we want to use it. So I'm going to leave that a min and max of 0 and 360 for the moment, but what I actually want to do, if we grab the arm object, so this is part of the reason why I made the gun boxes. So I made the gun box rotations actually aligned with its front face, and then I should have made the arm object align with the gun boxes as well. So actually it's minus 180 degrees, so that's not great. Let's set the rotation for that as let's set that rotation to 0 there. And I suspect this rotation, yeah, it's gone, that's negated itself. So actually, if I make that minus 180, undo, go into object mode. I want to actually have this pointing in the right direction. So minus 180, we'll make that 0. So that should be lined up perfectly with the center of the gun box. And then I'm going to change its rotational axis rotation to that way. Actually, is that really what I want? I don't think that is what I want. I've changed my mind. I actually really want that. We do want that 180. So I wanted that sticking out that way, and then we'll zero that out. That's what I want. Sorry about that. I can't make my mind up. We'll probably constrain it mathematically by mapping the square box onto a circular output. I think I know how you could do it, but there might be more effort than it's worth. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, you could have a non-linear relationship between effectively the input and the output, which I did think about doing, because you could have a curved mapping. It'd be interesting to know if that actually, what would have been good is if you could have user data that actually gave you a circular plane to work on. So if we could have actually changed the user interface for that, and we made it a 2D vector field but actually circular, that would have been better. But yeah, you could have it so that that doesn't map fully to the entire, well, let's just say that. Yeah, you'd have to have that corner maps to there, but that point there maps to a higher one. You'd have to effectively do some sort of translation. But again, it's like I've got time, we can't be bothered. But yeah, no, it's probably, like you said, it's probably more effort than it's worth. Okay, right. So we got the arm object pointing in the direction that we want. It's centered on 0 at the moment. So now what I want to do is, I'm going to keep the arm object where it is, and I'm going to rotate the arm ball inside the arm sort of higher level object. And actually, because this should be centered in the hole, you should only have to figure out how far it can go in one axis, and it should apply to all of them. So let's make sure we're in object mode, and we want to find where the top point of that is, so it doesn't intersect, which is not quite there. So we got let's try minus 25. Does that intersect with that edge? No, minus 24 we'll see. There we go, that's probably about as close as we're going to see. Okay, so we get that 2D plane to go to plus or minus 24 in both directions. That should be alright. So we're going to do, user data, manage user data. We're going to go arm rotation. We're going to set the min and the max to minus 24 and 24. And I might make the step, good question, I don't know, 0.2 maybe, something like that. Should probably be enough. Okay, so we should be able to go up to, oh dear, that's not right. Why have we got that? Min max 0.2. What am I doing wrong here? Minus 24 plus 24 x 24 minus 24. Okay, I'm just being dense. There we go. I think we got that right. You need to work out the distance of the control point between the center and the edge and map that to a radius on a circle. Okay. Oh, maybe another day. Yeah, I'm just thinking how you could do that, but yeah. Nah, I think that's going to be too much of a pain in the arse. I think we'll stick with this at the moment. Just to keep it simple sort of thing. But yeah, you're right, there is always something you can do. Okay, right, so we're going to go to the Espresso node. I'm going to create a new user data, arm rotation. So, is that what we want? We want, actually, what do we want here? So our user data, arm rotation, is that going to be, can we just map that straight to the, no actually, I need to make sure I get the right axis for this. So we want arm rotation, so it's going to be object mode, arm ball. Why is it not telling us that's been rotated? Because it has been. Oh, I've rotated the wrong thing, haven't I? Of course I have. Right, 0. No, 0. Right, let's try that again. I want this one to be minus. That's going to be minus 27. This might end up being upside down. So we do. That was rotation B, I think, wasn't it? Oh, what have I done? Z, Z. Right, rotation B. So we go, drag the arm ball on there. We want coordinates, rotation B. Well, this probably doesn't map because it's actually going back to front, isn't it? So, come on. So if I rotate that to there, let's try changing the position of that and up, down, left, right. Nope, so that one's not rotation B. Get rid of that. Delete port. User data arm rotation. Let's try rotation H. Well, that can't be right. It's 177 to 360. That doesn't seem very constrained, does it? And that's also the wrong axis, so turn that off. So it's not rotation B, it's not rotation H, it must be the other one, rotation P. Try dragging that to there. Oh, Dalek, rotation P. So that's the right axis, but it's got it completely wrong. Oh dear, I've thought enough to know if it's practical or not. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. You want, like you said, you want to take a square area and kind of map its points to the, like I said, to the plane of the circle. That'd be a bit weird because yeah, it wouldn't be like it wouldn't be able to express it in degrees then. Actually, do you know what? Did I even talking about degrees? Did I actually do this in degrees? Because maybe I should just refer to what I actually did before, and then I might be able to figure out what I've done wrong. I've actually done it in percent. Yeah, that makes much more bloody sense. Let's do window gold Dalek. Let's try this again. Right, so actually, let's go user data, arm rotation. I actually express this parameter in percent rather than degrees. So if we say maxes, minimums minus 100% and minimums maximum is 100%, then we can go. That's okay. Try again. Let's use the data. Minus 100% to plus 100% minus 100% to plus 100%. Okay. Then we're going to map that range to rotation. I think that's better. So I'm going to delete these two ports because that's bollocks. Try that again. So arm rotation. Why does it come up as user data? That should be. Is that right? I'm sure that's not right. Oh, I still got that. I'm sure I've got that still expressed in terms of percent. So it's percent, it's a 2D field, step 0.1. So that shouldn't be talking about it in terms of rotation. Gold Dalek. Let's close that and open it again. Maybe that's what it needs. Gold Dalek, user data, arm rotation. Okay. Is that what I did in the other one? Let's have a look. I haven't done this for a while, as you might have told. So close that. Let's go back to this one that I've got here. I've got a lot of range mappers on this one. There we go. I've got arm X and Y, and it's X and Y, which is what I was expecting. So what the bloody hell am I doing differently on that one to this one? Right. I'll tell you what, actually, we'll rename that user data to let's do user data, manage user data. Let's rename that XY or something like that. XY. And then we want that 2D vector field, percent real length unit. Vector. 2D vector field, percent, step 0.1%. We've got an X and Y value. So user data, arm rotation. So it's not refreshing this, is it? That's quite annoying. Why is it not doing that? Arm rotation. Oh, come on, why have you not refreshed? Let's use the data. Oh, did I not change that? Oh, come on, properties. Let's call that arm XY. Okay. Yeah, it's still not refreshing properly. It's been a bit fucking weird. Why are you not working? Come on. So I should be seeing that as an X and Y value on a table. So we should be able to go user data, arm XY, and it's still coming up as arm rotation YB. So it's not refreshing that at all. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try closing that and saving it again because there's something funny's going on about that. Let's close all projects. Oh, actually cancel. Let's just close this project. Reopen. Drag that over there. Right, yeah, it's been a bit funny. I did something else the other day, and this version 20. Earlier today, and this version R21 seems really buggy. Like I was trying to snap, and it wouldn't allow me to. Like the snap settings didn't work either. Like snap into a point. I really don't understand that. So arm XY, delete that. Come on, you can do this. User data, arm XY. Oh, there we go. We've got an X and a Y on there. See, ridiculous. User data, arm XY, arm XY, Y. There we go. God knows what that was about. Okay. Actually, we probably right. So now what we want to do is we want to map plus or minus 100% to plus or minus 24 degrees. I think that's what we said. So we're going to clone the range mapper. Let's grab a copy of that. I'm going to change its range, input range from percent, output range to the degrees. So input range is from minus 100 to plus 100, and its output range will say something like minus 24 to plus 24, I think it was. Okay, so we'll do, which one was X and Y? So I think the rotation B, Gumball. Let's just check that again. Yeah, that's up and down, so it actually wants to be Y for rotation B, and the other one it's going to be ooh, oh, come on. Come on, let's zero this out. And then rotation H for the X position. Right, so drag that one up there. So connect that to that, connect this one to this one. Then we want basic coordinates, rotation H. Drag that down, see if I can, oh, it's actually asked about it, didn't it really? But, oh, never mind. Make rotation B there, I think this is what we want. Okay, let's see if I've actually screwed this one up. There we go. Yep, it's back to front. So that's back to front, but left to right is kind of okay. So we want to flip the up and down positions with a range mapper. Okay, so that was rotation Y. Let's make that 24 to minus 24. Minimize. Gold Dalek. Up, down, left, right. I tend to do it from the point of view of the animator rather than from the point of view of the Dalek. So we could make that left and right. We could flip that so it's from the point of view of the Dalek actually. Maybe that'd be better. Otherwise it might confuse people. So we'll flip that one down as well. So that'll be minus 24 to plus 24. Oh no, sorry, to lie. That was minus 24 to plus 24. Actually, we're all going to be minus 24 to plus 24, aren't they? So that one. Sorry, plus 24 to minus 24. Dear, come on, Simon, you can do this. Minus 24. Save. Okay. This time it's going to work. Here we go. Up, down, left, right. Hurrah! Oh dear me. See why I didn't try this last week. It's killing me. Okay, right, so we want the same thing for the gun. So we could probably just do exactly the same. So we could probably copy that user data and effectively it should be, well, maybe it'd be a touch different, but 24 degrees is probably pretty close because you've got these like metal rails. You might have to change the value slightly. So let's do user data, manage user data. Get that. We could do copy, right click, paste. Drag that to the bottom. We'll call this one gun XY. Let's check the expressor isn't pointing at gun XY instead of arm XY, which it isn't. Right, so now we want to add that back in. So let's add those user data features. Oh, and it's not there again. Come on, you can do this. We've got a refresh on there or something. View, frame all. See if that makes a difference. Nope, it's not having it. Close that. Try reopening it. Gold Dalek user data. Oh, this never used to be the case. I'm sure this used to just work. Yeah, we got there in the end. I swear this used to just work. It used to be live updated. No, it's not working at all. I'm gonna have to reload this again. I'll tell you what. Let's save that and we'll recommit that. So git add dot. Actually, git status. One file changed. Git add dot. Add all items. Git commit dash m. Added rotation to XY vector jolly. Actually, it's probably a bad word to put on the string thingy. Alright, git push. There we go. Right, I think I'm gonna have to close this and open it again to get it to add that back bit of user data back in somehow. I don't really understand what's going on with that. Come on, we can do this. It's gonna be like this for every single feature that I add. that would be a nightmare. Maybe I could add the gold Dalek on again. So we do use the data. So maybe I should do that. Let's just chuck that on there as a second object and separate it out. Right. So we're gonna do user data. Oh, it's not. It's still not there. Okay. Did I not save that then, or something? Oh, obviously not. Okay, that's why I'm clearly screwing this up, as you might have guessed. Right, remove. Can we still paste that in? We can. Drag that down. Call it gun. Enter. Okay. Let's added that in. There we go. Right, so why is that not working? Gold Dalek, user data. Hooray! Simon's screwing everything. There we go, we've got an X and a Y. Right, I'm going to copy these two range mapper objects, drag those down, Control drag. Connect those. This might actually not quite line up with what we want for the moment, but we'll see how it kind of comes out. So now I'm going to add the gun ball. So we should have the gun. We go into that mode, yeah, so the gun's pointing in the right direction. Gun ball's not perfectly centered, so we can zero that to start with. So if I do 0, 0, 0, enter. So that should be perfectly lined up with the gun sort of top level object. And then what we want is I think we probably want the same thing. So we want, for the x-axis, we want rotation H. So if we drag the gun ball on there, so on the x-axis we want rotation H, and on the y-axis we want, let's zero that out. Oh, come on. Oh, it's 180, isn't it? Right, let's try that again. H-axis for XY, and then B-axis for the other one. So rotation B. Rotation B. There we go. Right, so let's just see if this works. We might have to tweak the value slightly. I'm hoping we can just go gold Dalek, up, down, left, right. There we go. And again, we got this issue of it kind of intersecting. Let's select the gold gumball, center on that, center on that. Zoom out a bit. So we've still got the issues of it intersecting in the corners. Actually, that corner is not quite. Yeah, that's intersecting with the metal rails. So we might have to tweak this a bit. If we go right up to the top, is that intersecting with the rails? Not really. About right at the bottom. That's okay. What about the side? So we go right to there. It's just about alright. I think we can get away with that. We might leave it at 24 then. Okay, so we got our controls for the gun, we got our controls for the arm from the Dalek's point of view. So from here we go left with the gun, up, down, left with the arm, up, down. Okay, that was easy enough. Oh dear. This is entertainment at its finest. This is how to watch a man fail live on TV. Failing at life on something he's supposed to know how to do. Okay, so what else? We got two more things we want to do. We want to do the extension for the arm, and we want to do the firing of the gun. My God, that's going to be a nightmare, isn't it? Let's face it. Okay, so the extension for the arm, I think I'm going to do what I did before. Actually, so what actually happens with a Dalek's arm is that because of the way the tubes are connected, when you have like a control rod on the inside. Let's go there. You have a control rod on the inside, which is effectively this middle tube, this innermost tube. And when you extend the arm, the innermost tube comes out to a point, and then what it starts doing is it starts bringing the middle tube along with it until it's fully extended. You can kind of get the software to do that and express that, but it involves a lot of like if conditional sort of things. So I think just to keep it really simple for the moment, and for the fact that if I do try and implement that, it'll probably take me about 9 hours at this rate. I think we'll just do it where we'll just have a proportional increase of distance between the middle arm. So if that was a full extension, if we brought it in halfway, then we'll kind of get this sort of effect where it's halfway in. Because if I do it like that, what I've actually done on my one is because I'm really funny about these things, is that I actually added separate controls for the different parts of the extension, so the inner extension and the outer extension, because I kind of wanted to be able to animate them getting stuck or not flowing properly, rather than it working the way it's supposed to. But I might do it the opposite. I might just simplify it, just have one control for its extension, and just make this middle piston effectively sit somewhere in the middle. Oh, it has to be, yeah, that's very true actually. Yeah, if you have your arm down like that, then the middle section is going to slide out until it hits the sink plunger. So yeah, it does get a bit convoluted. So I think we'll just keep it simple for the moment. So on this model, I think, like I said, we're just going to make the middle arm be halfway between the distance between the sink plunger and the end of that arm. So what I did do, I think, hopefully, if I've done what I thought I should have done, I should have zeroed the positions of these under that. So if I make this position, effectively should have the same X position as all the other inner parts. So we select the inner tube, 0, then there we go. So they're all zeroed out, and I made them just slightly staggered because they're never going to be perfect. But so now what we need to do is figure out what the maximum length of extension of that's going to be, and then divide that in 2 by how the maximum of the middle tube is going to be. So that's a good question. So what I think we got is how far from the ball joint can that arm extend backwards before it hits the back of the Dalek. And I reckon that's about the length of the arm, isn't it, effectively? So I think that we could give that a maximum of extension of twice this existing length. So if we said that was, shove that all the way out, just about there, something as the maximum length. Actually, I should do it. Let's do it halfway. So let's say that's 390. If we made that 380. Actually, we made that 190 there, and the end of the position 190. Then I think we could say that was our maximum extension. That's probably quite reasonable. I mean, God knows how the hell they made it longer than that in Dalek's Invasion of Earth. I'm sure it's even longer, isn't it? It's something like, I don't know, let's try 200 and 200. There we go, I think that's as good as we're going to get. Also need to constrain the retraction so it doesn't impale the operator at the extreme right rotation. I don't think we're going to make it that complicated, but you're right. Yeah, if we had that go all the way inside, if we rotated the arm in this direction, and we had that fully retracted, we'd effectively be stabbing the operator right in the chest. Oh dear. I mean, there's other things as well. You could also constrain its usage, so because you normally have to be able to do it, you kind of have to have your arms crossed over as well, which doesn't help. There's so little room inside those shoulder sections. But yeah, we're going to keep it a bit simpler than that. Okay, so we're saying that the maximum extension of those two objects is going to be 200 in the x-axis. That's 100% extension. So we go to our Dalek object, we're going to create a new user data. field, and we're going to call that arm extension. And we're going to make that a float in percent, and we're going to again have a minimum and a maximum of 100%. I think that's probably right. We actually make that a float slider. So we want to slide from 0, which is a minimum, i.e. fully retracted, to 100% fully extended. Okay, and this time I'm going to hit the OK button instead of the close button, because I think that was my downfall last time. Then we're going to go back to our espresso field, and we're going to use the data arm extension, drag that down a bit, and what we're going to do is use a range mapper again, and we're going to map that from input from 0 to 100, so it's the lowest level of the input, so the input lowest is 0 to 100%, and our output is now going to be in what we want, don't want radians or degrees, user define, percent, 0 to 1, 0 to 100, 0 to fast, user define. Yeah, I guess user defined, isn't it? Effectively, whatever that ends up connecting to. And we're going to change the output lower range from 0 and the output upper range to 200, I believe. So hopefully we can select both of these objects, the middle tube and the inner tube. And I think they were position X, wasn't it? Yeah, so we want our position, we want this relative to its current position, position X. Position X. Well, hopefully we can just wire this together. And as if by magic, it won't work the way I think it's going to work. Okay, so gold Dalek extension. Ah, there we go. 100%. So yeah, we didn't want to try and come up with any of the complicated logic. I guess they use something like stiff wire hose in Dalek Invasion of Earth. I don't know. I can't believe they would have changed it. I think they genuinely just had those tubes massive, and they must just go just extend all the way right back to the back of the Dalek. I can't believe they did anything special just to get that shot. I mean, why not just effectively make it? You know, when they're doing the Nazi salute thing, for example, why not just make it that long or something instead? It still does the same effect. The only reason I can think it sticks out that much is because that's how long they make the tubes. That's the only thing I can think of. Let's do it. Let's do a. No, let's not do that. Actually, that'll take my that'll kill my YouTube channel if I do a Nazi salute for Dalek. I have no affiliation or liking of the Nazi party. I just want to point that out. That's terrible. Right. Okay. Before I get my channel removed, let's try and finish this off, shall we? Let's save that. We're gonna do a new commit, git add dot, because that's the only file that's changed. Git commit -m. I'm going to say added arm extension control